I'm not having fun. I don't know what's happening. So that's a lot better. Just gonna kind of go through different ones. See what we can come up with. I'll save you the pain. I'm not gonna show you this all. So I found this other one that I like a lot as well. But it's a little bit colder and doesn't make the leather look as good. So I think I'll just keep with this one. Maybe we can put the saturation down a little bit. Something like that. Let's save. I think that's more than enough look depth for now. Depth look, not quite sure what it is, depth look or look depth. Let's go ahead and texture a bit more. Pretty much done though, we just need to do some final effects like some mud and whatever, and then we need to do some wear and tear here. So I think I did some stuff without recording it. Just messing with the render a little bit. For example, right now I put the tone mapping from linear to this one and messed around with the sliders a little bit. And I put the Tomoka Studio Sky from Substance Paint in the Marmoset scene to get a little bit of a different look in the render. I definitely prefer this one. We need to adjust the directionality of the straps a bit. Let's go to mask. So that's going to be the center one. Then the details. Let's go to the detail mask. Take a look here. We're just gonna rotate this a little bit so it's a bit more straight. That looks straight to me. Notice how I'm doing it in the mask view, so we don't have to wait for the layer stack to update. It's quite useful. It's looking better. So just gonna quickly export that. So you can see that looks a little bit better now that the directionality is right. Now we're gonna do pretty much the same that we did with the leather to get a nice fuzzy feel for that. I'm gonna do the same for the straps. So I'm gonna start off by hiding everything that we don't need to worry about. So the glass, the fuzzy stuff, sides. Just to make it a little bit more organized for myself. So we just got some stuff over here. Can also get rid of that stuff. Don't need it anymore. This I think, let me check. Okay. So I'm gonna duplicate this stuff. We're also gonna do the same for these to make them look a little bit nicer. Let's start off with the helmet. There's a little bit less to worry about. actually make a duplicate. So we can just start off with that. Then we don't need stuff over here. I'm gonna keep this edge right there, just as like a little bit of space to work with, because this is all gonna be visible. Now here we have the visibility mask. We'll take away a little bit of that. So now we just need to take the last strap. So we can just do something like that, get rid of everything here. This time I'm not going to take the black mask in Maya, because it's pretty easy to see what we need and what we don't need. Just going to do something like that. Then I'm going to grow it out, shift arrow looking key stuff. If you don't know it, just Google the hotkey. I'm just gonna take stuff away now. Just gonna do this pretty fast and sloppy, so I don't really care about keeping it perfect. Just wanna get a nice looking render effect. And check what I need. So I do need that. Something like that should be fine. Again, doesn't matter if we have some triangles that we don't need. So they're gonna be invisible. And I don't care too much about keeping this low. So I'm just gonna merge all this stuff together. Delete the history. Call this helmet straps. Now we need to do the same here. And we should be able to use the UV shell, actually, to just select it really easily. I'm gonna do that one as well. Now we can get rid of everything else. And we can just delete that. Again, I'm gonna do this pretty sloppy and fast. So we can call this one mask straps. It's important that we don't merge them together because they do have different textures. Just like the leather stuff. Now we're gonna inflate a little bit. Let's put it on a normal. Just inflate it. And again, this what I'm doing right now isn't really something that you would do for game. I'm just doing it to get a nice looking render. But when you do this for game, you don't need to do this. You can just do this for a nice looking render if you like. Something like that. in a group. I think this is the export button that we have. Yep. So now let's do the same here. So inflate everything a bit. Looks fine. Actually, let me fix the name so it don't need to do it twice. Something like that. Now let's export everything. So let's start off with the helmet. So we're gonna take the helmet and do the duplicate. Let's call this straps. Let's go 01. Just gonna create a new group. Let's call this straps. Let's call this helmet straps. And let's start off by hiding the second layer. Helmet straps second, let's hide that. Let's go back to Painter and make save. And actually we need to start with the straps mask. So let's go to helmet vertex color. Can do new save. This time I'm just gonna save it here. I think it's a little bit better. I'm gonna call this helmet straps. So let's just merge everything together. Then we need to do the select color range. Just go in and start selecting all the colors. Lay a new fill layer. Just make a white color. Let's go ahead and repeat this step. We have one more color and I think it's the green one. Just gonna double check in Maya. Actually we have a few more colors. We can go to UV editor over here. You can just take a screenshot. Try to keep this as rectangular as you can. And in Maya, I mean in Photoshop, you can just put it like this. And just put it to something like this, and now we can see what colors we need to select. So the green here as well. So select color range and take that green one. And it's very important that we do it with color range and not with the tools like this, because if you have some more of the green over here, you won't select it. So keep that in mind. Let's see, it's just the green one left and the purple. I wish we could do multiple colors. I think we should be able to. show how that works. So I'm just gonna keep doing it one by one. If you do know, please let me know in the comments. This would certainly make this a lot faster. Not sure what all this purple is here. That's a little bit of a different purple, I think. So yeah, we definitely need to be careful with that. Only want to have this purple. And check this mask out. That all looks fine. So let's unhide everything. I mean, hide everything. Make it black. Okay, so now you see a problem that we're having. Because we have that different color here. We have like a line like this. So the easiest way to fix that is just to take the color of the center one. So that's going to be this mask. Take the mask, let's say delete layer mask, and then go to select, and then modify, then expand, let's say 2 pixels, and then just mask that again. Now you can see pretty much fixed it. This one, same, let's select, delete layer mask, select, modify, expand 2 pixels, mask that. That one might need a little bit more. I'm gonna do 4. That looks fine. We do have a lot of little thingies, I think it's because of this one. So I'm gonna take this mask, Ctrl L for levels. I'm just gonna push the contrast up to fix that. Now on top of everything, can still mess around a little bit. Try to fix some of those errors. Again, this doesn't need to be perfect. You're not gonna see any little mistakes like this. So don't spend too much time on it. Just get it right more or less. So you can see the UVs. Make sure we don't have any weird stuff going on. That's all looking fine. So of course now we need to hide the UVs and just save this. So this time I'm just going to create a new paint project, so it's a little bit faster. So I'm just going to make the new project, get the mesh in there, Unreal Engine, and let's see, anything else? Let's add our straps mask. That's going to be over here, so helmet, straps. And let's also do the one for the mask right away. So let's go to mask, vertex color. Let's call this as mask straps mask. Just gonna do the same again, UV editor, so we can see what we need. I'm using light shot, by the way, to take screenshots. Super handy, you should get it if you don't use it yet. And let's put it. So get that one. That's looking a little bit strange. Okay, let's finish it. And let's see. Should get the green as well. That's all looking correct. So we got some stuff right there that we don't actually need. I think it's just because of the edge padding. I'm gonna ignore it. Also, it doesn't matter because there won't be a mesh there anyway. It looks like we have everything that we need. So let's take the middle one again. Let's take the mask, delete it, and select. And expand that to 4. I'm also gonna include the stitches here. So if we don't, the stitches will look like the down below instead of actually on top, which I want to avoid. If you want to make the stitches look more indented, you can mask them out here. So let's save. Let's go ahead and add this map as well. We don't need anything else. Let's do okay. So now over here, let's just hide stuff that we don't need. So we just need to worry about the helmet and the mask first. Great fill. Just gonna put this in base color. Nothing that we do here matters too much. Just gonna use the base color as the mask. And then let's use the roughness channel as the second layer. Just like that. So now we can have two different exports, which can serve the layer 1 and the layer 2. I'm gonna make a new fill layer. Let's go to procedurals. Go with like a purling, maybe. So we need one in the color. And we also need one in the roughness. I'm gonna start off with roughness. Actually, let's start off with the color, the first layer. Put the tiling way up. Just set this to 4K, okay. So maybe we can try something for this, for the first layer. And then the second layer is going to be the roughness. Put the scale up. The balance down. Maybe something like that. So first layer, second layer. Now we just need to export this. I'm gonna disable the ones that we don't use. The goggles and the helmet. So the helmet and mask only. And then just do the color map. Just let's adjust the export. And put this to document channels. Then we just need the base color and the roughness. Actually, it's okay, we can keep this on PNG. Just a noise map. Let's just change it really quick. Diff. And I'm using diff just to get that 16-bit. You can even put it to 32 if you like. That's all looking correct. So now we can export. That's nice and fast now. So now let's go to mom set. Helmet straps 1, just put it on. Just like before, you see that nothing really changes except that it becomes a little bit more thick. So now the alpha map. Actually, we messed up our map, now that I think about it. Because the base color is being filled. Then we need to put this to multiply. So now you can see it's taking away a little bit of what's visible. So let's do the same for the roughness. Put this to multiply. So now it's correct. Otherwise it's going to show some stuff that we don't want. So now over here, just like we did earlier, let's use an albedo map, alpha map, sorry, and export. We didn't set an export location. Let's change that. Just gonna create a new folder to keep it a little bit more organized, my textures. Let's say straps mask. And select and export. Now we can go here. And we're gonna use the helmet base color. That's gonna be our first one. Let's put this to R. I think we have a little bit too much. Also, we do need to make the straps themselves darker again. We want to have that layering effect. But here you can already kind of see it. That's pretty good already. It just becomes a little bit nicer and softer. You can see it blends the edges. So now let's do the second layer. I'm going to duplicate that one. Let's call this 2 and put it here. Then this time we're going to use the roughness map. You can also just get rid of the albedo map. And put a color like that. I don't don't think that's gonna look too nice. I'm kind of looking for it. We have quite some stuff here now. Helmet, Strat 02. Just trying to see the difference. That adds some nice looking effect. I don't think it's too bad with a color like this. Don't like it over there though, so we're definitely gonna need to use the color map itself. So we need to go to projects, pilot helmet, and let's go ahead and open this one in Photoshop. Let's just do a new layer. So hue saturation. Let's bump up the saturation and the lightness. So maybe something like that. Let's go ahead and save this. I'm gonna do save as. Do it as a PSD. Let's go strap mask. Let's call this layer 02 color. So the downside, if we now adjust the color here in Painter, we do need to adjust this again, which is a little bit annoying. So that's why I'm setting everything up when I'm pretty happy with how everything's looking. So now we're just going to put that layer 02 color in there. Now you can see, now we're getting a nice looking effect. Because the brightness really helps blend in the stuff, give it some depth. Let's go ahead and do the same for the first layer. So back in Photoshop, let's call it save as 01. This time we need to, you can just take this and put this to like 50. Now save. So now we're also getting that darkness to light effect. So now for this one, let's put this one in here. So because this one has way more visibility, you can see this becomes kind of messed up. So you can see how visible this is. First I'm gonna mess a little bit with the visibility. I'm just gonna put the balance down a bit. Maybe contrast. Something like that maybe, and export. Okay, and then in Photoshop, let's go ahead and make this way more subtle. Maybe something like 14. So we actually have the old one still there. Have layer 01, of course. Just by having one, I think it really helps already. You can see this looks way more soft. It looks pretty good and nice. If you want to be a little bit more like careful with poly count and all that, and alpha overdraw, you can just do 1 to really get a nice look. I'm gonna do 2. It's looking nice and fuzzy now. See, looks like there's little hairs, which is great. Especially if we get like a light on it from the back side. Try adding like a rim light thingy. Put this on direction. You can see how that nicely breaks up the silhouette. So if we go ahead and hide that on it, you can see the difference. So with the first layer isn't too much, and just adding the second, it's really gonna break that up. So without, looks very boring, especially here. Take a look. Then if we add that, now it looks more organic. With the last layer, now it's really starting to look nice and organic. Now I get rid of that light. Just take a look with the ray tracing enabled. It's looking nice and fuzzy. Especially that strap right there, I think looks very nice, the way it comes out. And for the leather we added like these little hairs, but I'm not gonna do it here. I think it's overkill for what this, because I think this works fine the way we have it right now. So let's go do the same with these. These are gonna be the pilot helmet mask straps. So again, I'm gonna start by hiding the second layer. So let's take the mask, duplicate, put it in the straps. Let's call this mask straps 01, mask straps 02. And put the first one on here. So now all we have to do is we can copy this layer. So just Ctrl C, go to mask. Actually, what we can even do is we can go here and say fill layer. Let's instantiate that. Just get it on the mask. And OK. Nah, that's not working the way I expected it. Never mind. Let's do the fill layer. This time we put the mask in the base color and in the roughness. And then Ctrl V. So again, first layer, second layer. So let's go ahead and export. So now let's take the first one and put the base color of the mask. Put this to R. You can see again it's becoming nice and fuzzy, a little bit more blurry, which makes nice and soft. You can see the difference. Again, take a look. This looks super harsh and a bit ugly. And with the second layer, it's gonna look nice and soft. I'm gonna do the third layer. And put the roughness in there. Put it to R. You can see that looks really nice and fuzzy right now. Just double checking if everything's on the R. Can be any channel as long as not the default. So now let's do the same for the color. So I'm gonna go here, paint the export, mask base, and open with Photoshop. Actually, before we do that one, do want to adjust the texture a little bit. I'm gonna save this one. Projects, paint, let's call this straps. And let's open the main project. So I want to make the sides look a little bit brighter than the center one. I think it looks too similar right now. So I'll probably make the center one more dark, because we can easily adjust the color as well with the second layer. Let's go to center, adjustments, and HSL. Just gonna put the lightness down. Something like that perhaps. I also want to adjust the sides a little bit. I don't like how colorless it looks. Maybe we can put saturation up. Let's try something like that. Now that looks way too much. Look and paint. It's just the render itself. Put this to 1. That's not too bad. I do think I want to make it a little bit more light though, just in overall. Just gonna go to the top of the stack. Let's put a HSL. Actually, it's okay. We're gonna do it with the second and the first layer. Just gonna hide the second first. So let's open this one in Photoshop again. So PSD, layer 1, let's put mask here. So for this one, I'm gonna do the hue saturation. I'm gonna put up the lightness. I think that's all that we need to do. Maybe bump down the saturation as well. It's gonna save. Go back to marmoset. Let's put a new texture. You can see the difference. That's nice, it makes it a little bit more light. Now for the last one, do a new save. Let's call this 2. Gonna bump the saturation up and the lightness up. Maybe something like that. And save. That looks nice and fuzzy. It's a little bit too much over here though, I think. Yeah, it's too strong, the effect here. So one thing that we can do is go to straps. So let's go ahead and check out what layer is making this feel too fuzzy. Pilot down mask strap 2. So it's the straps 2. So for this one, we go to painter. Make sure we go to mask. So we're just going to duplicate this one. Then let's add a black mask. Then I want to do color selection. So we're just going to select that one. Let's take a look at the little ropes here. I didn't pay attention to those. That looks fine to me. So it's just that one. So now you can see we can take away from that. Let's do a new export. It's working right away because we still have to set to multiply. Now you can see that's way less. Now it's looking nice. Take a look at the stitches there. That looks fine. You can also do more stuff with this if you like. You can mess with, for example, maybe you can make this metal. See what kind of effect that's giving you. It's probably not going to be looking better. You can try it. Then maybe you can say I'm going to up the roughness on this. So you get kind of like a shiny layer on top. So you can maybe say something like that. I'd probably use specular instead to do that. But I'm just gonna keep it normal because I think it looks fine this way. I'm just showing you that you can mess with all these settings to get different looking effects. On the really extreme, you can even see what stuff like the normal map's doing to it. So you can see if we have a normal map, it's gonna look more intense. The detail, and if we don't have one, it's going to look more soft. So for the last layer, I'm going to turn off the normal map because I think it will blend in a little bit nicer. For that one, I liked more with the normal map. see if you like it with the occlusion or without the occlusion. So I think I'm gonna put the occlusion down, use the normal map. Yeah, we're gonna use it. I wanna have no occlusion. So you can see how you can mess with all this stuff to get different looks. So I don't like the occlusion on that. That's looking pretty nice. And I'm always messing with the render stuff, mostly with the camera. See my lighting setup for now, it's super simple. The only thing that we have is just a sky map. I think it looks pretty nice. Maybe we can bump up the ambient occlusion. Something like that. Let's go ahead and see how that looks with ray tracing. So I think it looks a little bit flat. I want a little bit more contrast. Maybe saturation. We can mess with curves to really get stuff looking like we want. But keep in mind that we're also going to do post-processing on this. So it doesn't need to be perfect in Marmoset. But of course you want to try to get it as close to the final look as you can. You can even go into each individual one. So maybe we can push the reds down or up a little bit. Mess with presets if you like. For now I think this is looking good. Disable ray tracing. Just keep it enabled. Let's try putting some light in here. Can get rid of the main renders camera. So we're pretty much just using the close-up by now. I guess we can't. Kind of looking for a light placement for the skylight that I like. This one looks pretty good. I'm gonna place like a rim light. You can do some fancy stuff with lighting setups, but I'm not the best at rendering. And I usually just end up using a skylight with some rim lights. Let's call this rim. Not sure why we can't delete that with the camera, by the way. Let's call this alt. We can actually call this free look. I'm just gonna lock that one, so that's good. This one's looking too saturated, colors. Make sure we can actually see stuff here. You can see we can do some pretty cool stuff with curves. Just kind of go through it to see if you can find something that you like. But usually these things are like super strong. Actually did the wrong preset stuff. Should be going here. Let's just clear this. I definitely like the colors on this more. Put the saturation down. Let's try 1, maybe even 0.8. You can adjust this with your textures or your colors here. Usually I just kind of mess with it over here. So when we do the final renders, we're gonna do a color touch up anyway. So I don't really care about getting the colors to be perfect. It's more important if this is gonna be used in actual game. But for now I just wanna have a nice looking render. So we can just do touch up in other programs to fix colors and that stuff. That way we can be a little bit lazy and not export every time from Painter. Same for the contrast, we're gonna edit this later as well. For now I just want to try to get something looking interesting in here. So I do think I'm gonna keep the saturation up. So everything just looks better with the saturation up. Then we need to touch up the yellows. So yeah, all the yellows are looking too bright here. We can also try to mess with the textures a bit if we like. Let's fix that rim light. So usually in my directional lights, I like to place them at like 0, 0. So we can actually mess with them. We can do like a little bit of a frontal light thingy. Give it some color perhaps. Then just really subtle. I'll probably keep that white. I think that looks nice, adds a little bit of depth to it. Let's call this maybe small reflection. Again, definitely not a pro doing renders, so my names are gonna be a little bit odd for the lights, I guess. Let's call this rim. Let's up that brightness. Try to get like a nice rim light going on. See, this is quite boring. It's just kind of twisting and trying to see if you can find like a nice thing that you like. So maybe like that, and then just gonna adjust that brightness. I'm gonna do duplicate, get some more rim lights. See, the light doesn't look nice there. We can twist to see how everything's kind of looking. That rim light isn't working from this angle, so I'm just gonna adjust it here. Take a look from different angles. I'm gonna try to get it working as many angles as I can. And for like the actual renders, you can adjust this for every single one. But for the video, we cannot really do that. As you want to mess a whole bunch with keyframes and stuff, but definitely too lazy to do that. I'm just gonna try to find something that works from most angles. I think that's working quite nice. So I do think if we adjust the straps saturation, could work out pretty nice, because we have the saturated stuff on top. So we can make that more subtle that way, I think. So let's go take a look. So let's take a look at straps. Just gonna push the saturation way down. Let's see what happens. I think that worked quite nicely. The color is a little bit too similar to the mask though. It's not too bad. So let's go ahead and do the same here. Straps, let's see which ones these are. So I think that one doesn't bother me a little bit. Just gonna do a new H cell all the way on top. I think it works for this strap. This one could be a little bit less saturated. But we're not going to be able to push the textures really anything more. I'm just going to quickly show you how we're going to fix it. First off, I think we can push the saturation down. Maybe go with 1.1. So if we hide this should be way less saturated. So we need to adjust this one, helmet strap 01. Turn off ray tracing for now so we can quickly see what's happening. So we can just take this one. Then we're gonna put the texture back here. Computer's being very, very slow. Just gonna go here and put this to draft. See if that's gonna help. So you can see the difference with the new one on top. It's less saturated. So we can save this out. Also, I'm gonna adjust this one a little bit with the stuff over here. I'm just gonna do something very lazy and take that. I think that's all. And do a new HSL. And push the saturation down a lot on this one. Make safe. Now that's looking way nicer, it's not so saturated. Let's put ray tracing back on. So we can start doing some quick render test. So for this I'm just gonna make a single render. Let's render image. So after I render a video or whatever, I put it in DaVinci Resolve. It's a free software to edit video. You can do some great color touch up on here. So now we just have to go to Marmoset, render. Should be one of these, I think. Be renders, Marmoset. That's the latest. I think. Let me just do a check. Just gonna delete everything. Name this. Do Targa. So now we should be able to actually find it. And right there's our image, so I'm gonna put it right there. Then you want to click here on the timeline. You can just drag this in. And it's looking very, very wrong. I think what it did is did the free loop camera. Watch your way. Just put that one on. Maybe it just runs the one that's on top. Not quite sure. Let's try to delete that one again. I think we have to go to render and put this to main render. put the save frame on. It's looking okay. Now it should render the correct image. Again, render image. Let's delete that one. And let's drag it in again. Still rendering the wrong image. Let me figure this out. So I'm an idiot. Here's the render cameras. Get rid of that one, put it to main render. Maybe now we can also delete the old camera. Nope. Now it should render the correct camera. So let's do one more render. So now we should finally have the corrective render. Put this in here. Oh my god, it's still the wrong one. What the hell, mama said? Main render. I have no idea why that's happening. So I just copy the object settings and paste it to the other camera. So both cameras are the same. Now it needs to be correct. So main render, copy, reduce and paste. So now they're exactly the same. Now we're gonna do the render finally. Also restart the mom set just in case. So now finally let's take our render and put it in. Holy shit, how? I have no idea. I'm gonna go crazy. And I actually figured it out. We need to change the name. Because the way DaVinci works, it like keeps this in memory or something, whatever. So if we just rename it, then we can actually see it. So now let's just put this in the timeline. So the way you edit color in DaVinci, let's also do a new timeline. Create new timeline. Do this one. Then I just want to put this to double. So let's go with 4K. So we have a good resolution to work with. And delete the old one. So here we can kind of post-process our render. So we can go here to color. There's a lot of stuff that you don't need. Just gonna disable all that so we can actually see what we're doing. Then let's say, for example, we want to have more contrast. We can up the contrast or whatever. You can also do this in Photoshop. Just do whatever you prefer. I like to do it in DaVinci. Because we can also do the render touch up here. You can push the details or whatever. Mask with tint. I'm just gonna do some really quick stuff to kind of show you. The important part is doing the color changes. First up, maybe we push this down a bit. And boost the color. If you click here, you can see the difference. So this off, this on, so you can quickly see what you're doing. I like to push the highlights up always. It's just gonna make the metal reflections look pretty nice. So you can see difference. It's nice shine to them. And then, for example, if you want to adjust colors, we can go here. Then you can just select the color and alter it. These points represent the different colors. so it's not too many. So I'm just gonna put this to 24 by 16. So we have the longest range possible, so we can make more specific changes. You can change the color space. So let's say we take this color right here. Now we can bump up the saturation or put it down. So now we can really start to mess with the look of our render by pre-processing it. Just gonna undo this. So let's say this to saturated, just select that color, then mess with it. So put saturation down. You can mess with the lightness. So now if we take a look, you can see how we're desaturating that color quite a lot. And now that that color is more desaturated, we can bump up all the saturation perhaps. You can just go through your render to try to make it look nicer, however you like. So maybe let's say we don't like how blue this is, we can take this blue. And then we can just change the hue on this. So you can see how we can twist it around the color space. So we can adjust the color. So probably just gonna keep this blue and then maybe say saturation down quite a lot. We can make this more bright or less bright. And of course this is gonna work better depending on if you have a lot of color. Because we only have one blue, when we adjust that blue, it's only gonna edit that blue. So we take a look. Now that looks nice in my opinion. This is all stuff that you can also do in Painter. It's just a little bit easier and more flexible to do it in TouchUp, in the Pro Processing. You can do a lot of stuff with DaVinci, which is why I really like it. For example, we can go to the curves, just mess with the look. Maybe you want like a little burnt looking render. You can just mess with all the sliders and see what it does. And of course you can also have the curves themselves to try to mess with that, see what you can get. So you get something that you like. So you can see here we can really adjust the reflectivity of the metal. So just look to different stuff, see what it does. Here we can do some cool saturated stuff right there. You can just mess with everything here and kind of go through everything, see what everything does. Now of course we have the main things right here. Then you can turn it off and on to see if you like it with the TouchUp or if you prefer that how it was looking before. And then let's say we put the gain all the way up and we don't like something, we can just double click. Or you can't with the gain. We have to click the reset. I think with this one you can double click. Okay, so this one you can double click to reset it. With this one you have to hit the little icon. And again you can mess with color space as well. We can give like a tint if we want. Just looking pretty cool. Right now it's messing up the background, so something that you could do. So you could make the background like a black or some other very specific color without a gradient, so you can mask that out. So you have a little bit more control over everything. So yeah, but that's for later. First we need to finally fix like the final touches that we want to do in our render. So some more wear and tear and whatever. Some environment effects. Then you can mess with the renders as much as you like. And then to save this render, you can right click, grab still. If we go so you go here and then you put gallery on, and then here you have your new image. Then you can export. Just put this to desktop. You can do a div. Let's call this touch up render. Then in Photoshop, this is our base render. So now we can take our touch up render and we can put this on top. Here you can kind of go and see the difference. Then we can do some changes as well in Photoshop. Let's say we made the touch up too intense, the effects. Then we can just dial this down or up. Let's say I like the changes that we did on the straps, but I don't like what we did here. You can just do something like this. Just kind of erase that out your render. Careful with the background again, there should be like a different mask to select. This way we can get a lot of control over what we're actually doing. Most of the times when you do this, you gotta be pretty careful. Then just blur the mask out a little bit. Just to blend it in. So yeah, that's pretty much all. That's how I do my final renders and whatever. And I'm gonna do that in a little bit more detail later. I'm not sure if I'm actually gonna record all of that. Probably nothing, to be honest. So I'm just gonna kind of take my time, and I don't think it's useful for you to see. So I'm doing it now so I can show you my process of that. For now we're just gonna finish up the textures, and that's it. So I wanna add a little bit of wear to the ladder here, just to make it look a little bit more interesting. Just gonna take the ladder mask, gonna add a new group. I'm gonna call this ladder 1 mask. Let's fill this with a white mask. Then here we can just add some wear. I'm gonna try to start with a smart mask. Maybe we can try this one. And let's invert it. Actually, I put this on the wrong one. So we should be using the under ladder, of course. So the base mask, this is the one that I want to group. It's called stop ladder 1 mask. So now if we put this one here, the under ladder is gonna shine through. Gonna need to adjust that under ladder a little bit. Maybe something like that. A little bit less saturated. Not really liking the mask. So we're just gonna paint this by hand, so I cannot get anything that I like. So usually when I paint stuff, I like to use the dirt brush. Just want to paint a little bit of wear here and there. And start off with just some wear here. So now that we have some wear, I'm gonna go in here and just gonna take away some of that. Still have some stuff here. Need to do the background layer. It's looking better. Let's see if we can switch this. Actually, I don't really like the wear too much. I think I'm gonna make it really subtle. So we can go here, let's do a fill, and put this to multiply. That's not the right one actually. So this is the one. Now we can just take away the strength. Maybe something like that. So when looking at the reference, the wear that we mostly have is these bigger cracks that don't have as much roughness. I'm going to try to replicate that. So all the way at the top, let's do a new HSL. Going to put this in above adjustments. I'm going to call this cracks. I'm going to add the black mask. So now here I'm just going to type cracks, see what we get. So that one looks pretty nice. Let's try to use that one. So I want to have these cracks be a little bit thicker. First let's just tiling a bit. We can try doing something like a filter, blur. So this is gonna blur the cracks out. Then we can do the levels to up the contrast again on the cracks. This way we can make them a little bit thicker and more defined. So if we tone down the blur, you can see they get thinner. If we up it, it gets thicker. Let's try this one. look at roughness. We need to actually take the roughness and make it more light. So this should be inverted as well. We just want cracks. Now we get these nice little cracks. Just gonna put this here so you can see what we're replicating. Maybe we can up the tiling a little bit. So the thing that I think is that we don't have enough of them. So one thing that we can do is we can add a new fill. We're just gonna put another cracks. We can mess with tiling, contrast. So now we need to add this to this one. So we can go through here. Multiply works fine. So now we have a lot of cracks happening. Take a look at the roughness. That looks good. Do you want to try to up the contrast more on this? Maybe something like this. I also don't want as much cracking happening here. So we can do a filter, a paint I mean. We could just start painting this away. I am gonna keep a little bit here and there as it's pretty nice breakup, but we don't need as much. As you can see, it's still a little bit difficult to spot. I'm gonna add a fill. Actually, let's first do a new filter. HSL again. Let's do the roughness on this one. Something like that. And then this one I'm gonna be using for the color. Just gonna darken this out a little bit. Maybe not dark, maybe lighten. Up the saturation. Then we're gonna do one fill. This one's gonna add some height. That's gonna make the surface look a little bit more worn. You can do a fill all the way up top, put that to multiply, so we can adjust the strength of the cracks. I think something like that's okay. Can also see if we have one that works better, but I think this one's gonna be the best. Yeah, let's just keep this one. So in Paint itself, I think it looks a little bit noisy, the stuff that we did. If we take a look in Marmoset, I think the cracks read pretty nice. And that's what's important. I think at this point we're pretty much done. Gonna need to add some more environment effects like dust and whatever, and some blood here and there. But besides that, there's not too much to be done. So over here, let's take a look. Let's do it on top of the straps. Let's do a new fill layer. And group this. Let's call this environment. Just like that we did at the mask, to add some blood and some dust and whatever. I'm gonna add some effects right here. Start with some dust. That one looks pretty nice. Doesn't look as interesting as I hoped it would. That one looks a lot more interesting. Let's go with this one. So what I usually do for dust is I try to go with the opposing color in the color wheel. Just kind of like a brownish kind of thingy here. Maybe it's more like purple actually. So we either gonna have to do like some greenish dust or some bluish. So we can just see whichever one looks the best. So I think I'll go with like a greenish blue. Something in the middle, maybe. Nope. Go with blue, that looks the best. Something like that. I don't like the mask. I think that's too much contrast. This one looks pretty nice. So one thing that we can do is we can add multiple ones. Could add this one here. Then we just need to mess with the blending. Now you can see we're adding this. Then we can make this a little bit more subtle, stronger, depending on what you want for the look. I'm gonna go with something like 29. Don't like how the dust is making that look a little bit less strong. So now we can do like paint. Start painting away from the parts where we don't like it. We can break it up a little bit. See here it becomes quite nice and soft. Makes it look a little bit more blended in. I'm gonna go ahead and try some sand as well. Maybe we can call this one sand. And go with like sand. That one's pretty interesting. Like sand color. It's definitely too strong, so we're gonna have to put this way down. Let's do like fill. There's some procedurals in here. This needs to be put to multiply. Just to make this way more subtle. I don't think it looks too much more like sand, but more like some worn effect on the leather, like it's making it look more worn out. But I'm also liking that effect, so it's okay. Just gonna keep it like this, because I do think it adds some nice wear. Try messing a little bit with height, see what that does. I don't like how that looks with height. Just get rid of the height completely. Take a little bit away here, but not too much. Just a bit. Got quite a lot here. Let's go ahead, try adding some blood. Actually, I think it's nice if we do a fill. First we need to put a mask. And this is one that I really like, moisture. Put down the balance. Make this more subtle again. We're going to do the fill. Fill this with a procedural. Very important that we put the drag planer to get rid of the seams. Contrast, put down the balance. This one's now nice and subtle, like having little splashes like right here. It's gonna really help. A nice big splash there. Maybe a little bit more. Again, I want to keep this very subtle though. I don't want you to actually see that we have blood splatters on it. Just needs to add a little bit to the look. So we can just take this whole map and do a copy. I don't think we did anything on the goggles yet. So yeah, we don't have anything here yet. So I'm gonna paste. Put this in the baked map instances. Of course, we're gonna need to adjust some stuff. think we can reuse this layer for a different looking effect. If we go here, we have like some stuff right there. I'll try to replicate that a bit. It should be metallic, I think. It should be rough. I need to start with a black mask. Then color selection. So we're gonna start with this. Then we need to take away quite a bit here. Just need something with edge damage, maybe this one. That looks quite good. No, actually, it doesn't look right. That one looks right. So put this to multiply. If we don't put it to multiply, we have it where we don't want it. I'm gonna up the balance and the contrast. Maybe a little bit more subtle, something like that. This is too rough. Something like that. Maybe a little bit less saturated. Then we need to take away quite a bit. It's also called like gold / rust. I don't know what this is. It looks interesting, so I'm adding it. Now we need to put this to multiply, so we can take away. I don't like that one. Maybe just clouds. And then I'm gonna end this with a paint layer, just to take away a little bit more. And I want this to be a pretty subtle effect, but not too subtle. Something like that looks quite nice. Take a look at the dust that we added. I think it's a little bit too strong. Just need to fill on top, put this to multiply. So again, we have control over all the dust effect. The blood, I don't see anything. I guess that we have a little bit. Maybe up the balance just a tiny bit. Also, we need to get stitches in here. So maybe all the way on top here, let's do a fill layer. all the stitches. Let's mask it. So like always gonna put it really rough. The color should be a little bit lighter or darker. I want to add a little bit more stuff from the environment effects here. I do think it looks a little bit boring. I think we can up the intensity a little bit here. That looks a little bit nicer. Do a new fill layer. Now I don't have an idea yet what I want this effect to be. Just gonna go to Smart Masks. I'm gonna try to put a mask to see if we get like an interesting looking effect. I think this could be pretty nice to add some breakup. So maybe this can be like some sun damage. So need to put this to value. This is gonna make everything look lighter. And if you don't have a black, if you don't have a white, it's not gonna work. So here we can kind of control the intensity. I think that looks quite nice. A little bit of sun damage / worn looking effect. And we can alt click color to disable the other layers. Maybe add a little bit of breakup. So put this to multiply. Probably want to take like a crunch. Just make it look a little bit more organic. Maybe lower this a bit. I think this looks very nice, this effect. You can see how it's breaking up the textures. Now we have some interest in them, which is nice. Then maybe I want to try to darken some areas. This time I'm gonna take like a black mask. Try adding something new. Nope. Let's take a look what happens if we make this more subtle. I think it's okay. Just add a little bit of some dirt looking to make it look a little bit more interesting there. So one thing that we can add to really add some nice looking detail to this piece is like some text here. that's gonna need to go like right there. The easiest way to add this is just go to, I think, some metal. Yep. Gonna do a new layer here. Gonna call this text. Now you could mess with alphas or whatever. But the easiest way is just to do a black mask. Add a fill. Gonna start up Photoshop. So now let's go to our bakes. For example, let's take the mask AO. Now I'm starting off with the AO so we can see the UVs and whatever, and we know where it needs to go. So right now we have a pretty good idea of where it is. So now I'm just gonna take the text tool. Let's just start copying what we see. So ref, I think it's like number 9. Again, this doesn't need to be exactly what it says. Just care about adding some detail, not necessarily about the accuracy of the history. But of course, if this is important that it's saying the right thing, be sure to Google this. I'm just filling this with a low opacity black so I can see exactly what I'm doing. So 10A/12 5 7 0. Let's add a 5 to make it look a little bit more centered. And on and off. So I think the text is a little bit too thick. So we can try going here, maybe put this to crisp, sharp. Let's take this one as the one that we're going to be using. So we can just switch through different ones. So I think that one works. Just gonna copy that. And just paste. So I think like that works. So now we just need to up this all the way to 100. And let's save. So merge this all together. I'm gonna do a new folder called inputs. Let's call this text. Go back a little bit so we can adjust it if we need to. It's not a good idea to actually merge that all together. So now just go to project. So painter input, and let's drag our new map. Just put this to texture. And project pilot helmet. So now we have our text map here. We can just put that in the fill. So now you can see that we have it right here. First thing I noticed, the placement is a little bit off on some of these. It's okay. First let's just change the look a little bit, so we add some height, Let's add some color. This probably isn't metallic, this is like paint. So something like that. The height is a little bit too strong. I think the text is too thick. It needs to be placed a little bit down. Let's look for a thinner one. Just light. I think this is gonna be the one. Now we can just save. Just wait for it to complete. Now in Painter, all we have to do is go to Project and reload. Then one thing that's annoying, we do need to redrag this. Then it's gonna update. Still looking a bit thick. One thing that we can try is just to do a level. Try to thin that out. Just making it look a little bit thinner. I think that works. Still don't love the look. I think we need to adjust the height a little bit more. Now let's mess with the opacity of the base color. Try to make it a little bit more subtle. Maybe something like that. Now one thing that I want to do, add a fill. And put this to multiply. Just add a little bit of imperfections to it. Now you can see that's starting to blend in way better. Because we need to be careful that it doesn't blend in much. I think like that works. Need to adjust the color here a little bit. Just gonna do a new fill layer. So like gold. And cheat my way through this a bit. Just make it very fast. Select that color. Do color select. I'm gonna say this is metallic because it's not paint. Like the paint shown a little bit here, but then underneath it's like the metal. So maybe something like that. I'm gonna add a paint on top. I'm gonna paint a little bit of that black paint back. Something like that. Maybe this a little bit too messy. Do new paint. You can even try using a smart mask for this. Let's go with like paint. Actually, I think this is a better one. Dust. And this surface. So no, that's not what I want. So let's just paint it. Something like that. Now let's mess with the opacity of this. Maybe something like that. So we're pretty much done with the textures. I'm just gonna try one final thing. Go to helmet. So I'm gonna go all the way at the top. Do a new group. I'm gonna instantiate this. Do all the textures. Let's do a black mask. Maybe try this one. Just gonna see if I can get like an interesting effect going on all the things here. This perhaps could look quite interesting. Just gonna do it for the roughness and the color. Nice and subtle. I don't like that. Could try adding some rust, perhaps. See what happens if we just add the rust effect. That's looking horrible. You can just kind of mess with it to see if you can find like an effect that looks good on all. This is gonna take a little bit more time because it needs to do it on all sets. Take a look here. What we're gonna do is fake some sun damage. Go ahead and just do color. Now try putting this to value and pass through. Go ahead and adjust this a little bit to fill clouds. And multiply. Let's make it very subtle. Something like this, maybe. So one thing that I forgot to add, I'm not really gonna add too much stuff here. I think I cannot really find anything that I like. But one thing I definitely do want to add that I don't have yet is the rust on the buckles here. So let's go ahead and add that. Just gonna type rust. Take this one. Put in environmental effects. Not sure why sometimes it just looks so bad, sometimes it works great. Delete this. Maybe if we put it in the metal pieces itself. So yeah, that looks a little bit more right. Great. Just delete this. Sometimes that one works really nice, other times it doesn't. So I'm just going to use this one. Let's do a black mask. Look, I think that one looks most interesting in the thumbnail. I don't think this one's working too well. Maybe. Maybe something like that. Let's try a different one. Something like that works quite nice. And remember, we can add some of that rust to the straps. I'm gonna call this rust. This one's just gonna be a black mask. I'm gonna have to paint it. Let's do a filter, blur, and slope. This is gonna break up the shape. See, let's look a little bit more organic. And let's do a blur direction. Something like that. And do it levels. And we need to break the shape up one more time. So another slope. Something like that. And then let's take away a little bit. So multiply. And let's do a clouds. Lastly, just take that color. It looks pretty nice. One problem is the rust effect is not strong enough to make it very clear what's happening. Just gonna do a paint. And add some very rusted looking pieces here. Just try to make a little bit more clear what's happening. It's like rust from the buckles. Then maybe we can match the color a little bit better. Something like that. I think that looks okay. Little bit of extra rust on top. A little bit too much. And just like that. So that's all. I'm gonna go ahead and do the final renders on this. I'm not gonna show you everything of the rendering because it's mostly just gonna be tweaking and tweaking stuff. I already showed you how I do it with DaVinci, with adjusting colors and whatever. So yeah, this is gonna be the final, and I hope you learned something about the process. If you do want to see like everything's gonna be on Patreon in real time. It's not gonna be sped up. I'm also gonna put the project files there. like the substance paint, the file, the mom set render, and everything. So yeah, if you're interested in that, it's in the description, and goodbye.